Is age just a number? Depending on how you approach the question, the answer could be yes or the answer could be no. My name is Dom and I'm the clinical lead physiotherapist here at Thorpes Physiotherapy. And at Thorpes, we see people from all walks of life, from the young to the not so young. And I want to share my thoughts on that question of, is age just a number? There's a few things that we need to deconstruct with that though. And the first one I'd like to kind of point out is that if you want to keep active, stay active. That might sound like common sense and it might sound overly simplistic, but it is true. There's a correlation between the people that live active lives into their golden years and the people that don't need to come and see us as much. Generally speaking, if you look after your body and stay active, the body will look after you. Most times people do this in quite a simplistic way of, I enjoy going for long walks, so I'll do more long walks. I enjoy swimming, so I'll do more swimming. It doesn't always need to be formal exercise, but just doing things that you enjoy and try and keep active with them. And if you keep doing them, you'll remain being able to do them with it as well. The opposite can be true though as well. So there's something called the deconditioning spiral, where you may find it difficult to do one thing that you've always done. You think, well, that felt a bit difficult, I'll step back from doing that, or that was a bit uncomfortable when I did that, so I'll take a step back. And then something else will come along with, this was painful or this was uncomfortable, so I'll take a step back from there. Over time, if you keep making these small compromises bit by bit, your world gradually gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And often people don't realize the sum of all of these compromises until they have to do something like visit someone in London or travel somewhere or go for a walk that's a lot longer than normally would, until they stop and look back and say, my goodness, this is a lot harder than it used to be a few years ago. We also find that people who come into the clinic when they are in this situation tend to have more than one thing going on. They'll come in with hip pain, back pain, knee pain, ankle pain, and shoulder pain and things like that all in one go, because the more you start to decrease things, the more these ailments start to accumulate. One saying I say quite a lot is, if you leave your pain long enough, it'll start to bring its friends along as well. So it's not all doom and gloom. As I said, if you want to remain active, keep being active. But the last thing I want to address is that exercise is good for all ages. There is a misconception that we hear quite a lot in the clinic of being like, oh, I'm 50, so I shouldn't do this exercise, or I'm 60, 70, 80, I shouldn't do this exercise. But generally speaking, you do need to take a bit more time with it and be a bit more careful with it as you get a bit older. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't do it. There are exceptions, like if you've never done gymnastics before, on your 90th birthday probably isn't a good time to start doing it. But at the same time, if you want to return to doing exercise or start a new exercise, as long as you take your time with it, and as long as you're sensible, and as long as there's no medical ailments that would restrict you from doing it, there's no reason why you couldn't return to doing things like that. The big one that we find being useful in the clinic for getting people out of that deconditioning spiral is more of a structured walking program. That's usually done best encapsulated with a strengthening program as well, but it doesn't need to be anything too excessive. You don't need a gym membership, you don't need any fancy running equipment and things like that. Doing a few exercises to keep you strong and doing a little bit of walking. But the main thing I would say with exercise is try and find exercises that you look forward to, you enjoy. There's no point getting a gym membership if you hate the gym. There's no point going swimming if you hate swimming. Find something you enjoy and you'll be able to stick at it from there. The 10,000 steps rule, even though it has come under some flack because the number is debatable as to whether that is the goal that we set it to, it's not a bad benchmark. And if you look at if you track your step count and realize actually you're doing like 3,000 steps a day or something like that, you would benefit from getting that higher, but it's just an example. It's not a golden rule with it. Hopefully the things I've talked about today make sense. If you want any more information about this topic, we have quite a few blogs on our website that go into this in a bit more detail. There's one about why exercise, and there's one about the who, what, when, where, why of exercise as well, so feel free to check them out. If you wanted any more bespoke information individual to you, you can always book an appointment with one of our physios or our personal exercise specialist, Amy. Hope this has been useful and hope to hear from you soon. Thanks, take care.